In Revenge of the Sith, we know the moment. Anakin kneels before Chancellor Palpatine, pledging himself to the dark side in a desperate attempt to save Padmé. That decision changes the galaxy forever. The Jedi are destroyed, the Republic becomes the Empire, and Darth Vader is born. But what if it hadn't been Anakin? What if Palpatine found someone else? Someone closer? Someone already pushed to the margins of the Jedi Order? What if Ahsoka Tano became the Emperor's apprentice instead of Anakin Skywalker? That's the story we're diving into today. And as you'll see, nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same. Our timeline begins not with Anakin, but with Ahsoka. After being framed for the Jedi Temple bombing, she walks away from the Order. The Council apologizes, offers her reinstatement, but she refuses. To her, the wound is too deep. She had trusted them with her life, and in her moment of need, they abandoned her. Alone, restless, and disillusioned, she drifts across the galaxy. Odd jobs, escort missions, quiet moments on forgotten worlds. But at night, she can't escape the feeling that she was meant for something more. That restlessness doesn't go unnoticed. One evening, in a rented room on some Outer Rim backwater, a message arrives. A hologram flickers to life, and the face of Chancellor Palpatine appears. Palpatine, Ahsoka Tano, I've followed your recent trials with great interest. The Jedi failed you, they doubted you, but I see your strength. Meet me on Coruscant and we can discuss your future, and the future of the Republic. Ahsoka hesitates. Every instinct tells her this is dangerous. But what future does she really have? No order, no path, no home, she takes the risk. When she steps into Palpatine's office, the contrast hits her immediately. Gone is the austere serenity of the temple. Instead, luxury, power, a man who makes her feel seen. Palpatine, the Jedi cling to outdated traditions. They blinded themselves to your potential. I can show you more. The dark side is not corruption, it is strength. Ahsoka's voice falters. You're a Sith. Palpatine's smile deepens. Palpatine, the Sith seek order where the Jedi sow weakness. I offer you a chance to bring peace to the galaxy. Not as their pawn, but as my apprentice. And in the silence that follows, Ahsoka makes the choice that will shape the galaxy. She kneels. Teach me. Beneath the streets of Coruscant, in chambers steeped in shadows, Ahsoka's training begins. Palpatine pushes her harder than she's ever known. The Jedi had taught her to suppress her feelings. Palpatine demands the opposite. Her anger at the Council, her loneliness, her passion, every emotion becomes a weapon. She throws training droids across the chamber with a flick of her wrist, the dark side coursing through her like fire. Her lightsabers still glow their familiar hues, but they hum with new intensity. In time, the crystals bleed. Green and yellow give way to searing crimson. Ahsoka Tano becomes Darth Sith. But Palpatine isn't finished shaping her. On a diplomatic trip to Orvellum, he engineers an ambush. Battle droids rain fire, forcing Anakin to charge ahead, leaving Ahsoka with Palpatine. That's when the trap is sprung. A canister bursts, releasing a purple mist, alchemy designed to awaken something buried deep inside her. Years earlier, on Mortis, the dark being known as the Sun had infected Ahsoka with his power. The Jedi believed it was gone. Palpatine knew better. He nurtures that ember, whispering into her mind. Palpatine, do not resist. This is who you were meant to be. Her screams echo as her eyes burn gold. When Anakin returns, saber blazing, he stops dead. The Padawan he once called Snips now stands at Palpatine's side, red blades ignited. Palpatine, kill him. And for the first time, Anakin Skywalker faces his former apprentice in a duel to the death. Their fight is brutal. Sparks fly as blue and red clash in the Orvellum night. Anakin fights with desperation, begging her to stop. Anakin, this isn't you, Ahsoka. Ahsoka, I see clearly now. The Jedi lied to us. He showed me the truth. She moves with speed and fury, unlike anything he's seen. It isn't just her skill, it's the storm of the dark side surging through her veins. Anakin falters. For the first time, he feels fear, but then, just for a heartbeat, her expression flickers. The girl he once knew peeks through. Anakin seizes that moment, unleashing a force blast that hurls her into the ruins. She collapses, unconscious. Palpatine doesn't flinch. He abandons Anakin in a storm of lightning, leaving with his new apprentice. The trap is complete. When Order 66 is declared, it's not Anakin storming the Jedi Temple, it's Ahsoka. Clad in dark armor, her red sabers carve through the halls where she once trained. Clone troopers follow in her wake, and the Force screams with every life extinguished. Masters fall. Younglings beg. Ahsoka shows no mercy. To the galaxy, she becomes the Emperor's enforcer, the face of the Sith. But her rise leaves one crucial question. What of Anakin Skywalker? Without Palpatine whispering in his ear, without the burden of being the chosen Sith apprentice, Anakin's fate shifts. Obi-Wan, guided by Qui-Gon's teachings, frees Shammai from slavery earlier. Anakin grows more stable, more grounded. He marries Padmé in secret, yes, but his rage never consumes him. Still, when the temple burns, he feels Ahsoka's fall like a blade to the heart. Standing beside Obi-Wan, he whispers, "She's gone." "Then we'll bring her back," Obi-Wan replies. But deep down, he knows the truth. Palpatine stole his Padawan. Time passes, the Republic dies, the Empire rises, and Ahsoka, now renamed Darth Venjari, becomes the galaxy's nightmare. Where Vader once stood, she takes his place. Crimson sabers, black and scarlet armor, and a reputation that chills even hardened soldiers. Palpatine's empire thrives under her command, more efficient, more ruthless. Worlds are pacified not just by fear of the Death Star, but by Venjari herself, the sword of the Emperor. And across the stars, whispers spread: Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi survived. They gather Jedi stragglers, they fight in the shadows, and they wait. Because to free the galaxy, they know they must face her. One night, in Palpatine's throne room, Ahsoka uncovers plans for a moon-sized weapon. A planet killer, the Death Star. Her heart stops. This is not peace, this is annihilation. For the first time, doubt claws at her. "This isn't justice, this is tyranny," Ahsoka says. "Strength ensures stability. Mercy breeds rebellion. Do not let weakness take root," Palpatine replies. She bows, but inside, her resolve fractures. She remembers the faces of the younglings she struck down. She remembers Anakin's eyes, filled not with hate, but with hope. And she realizes she cannot stop Palpatine alone. She sends a coded message, just 4 words. "Anakin, I was wrong." Anakin receives the signal in hiding. Against Obi-Wan's warning, he answers. He meets her in a forest clearing on Alderaan, flanked by survivors of the Jedi Purge. Obi-Wan, Shaak Ti, even a young Padawan named Caleb Dume. When he sees her, cloaked in black, golden eyes burning, his voice breaks. "Tell me this isn't a trick." "It's not. He's building a weapon to destroy entire worlds." "Help me stop him," Ahsoka replies, trembling. Obi-Wan's voice is cold. "Or lead us into a trap." Ahsoka lowers her hood. "You'll have to trust me." And after a long silence, Anakin nods. "Then we do this together." The plan is set. They will infiltrate the Imperial Palace, strike at the heart, and end the Sith. But Palpatine is waiting. When we left off, Ahsoka had turned to the dark side, risen as Darth Venjari, and helped Palpatine forge the Empire. But she also uncovered the Death Star and, haunted by what she'd become, reached out to Anakin for help. Now, the stage is set for one of the most dramatic confrontations in galactic history. The plan was daring. Ahsoka would use her authority as Palpatine's apprentice to enter the Imperial Palace under the guise of a routine inspection. Once inside, she'd disable security long enough for Anakin, Obi-Wan, and a small band of Jedi survivors to slip in. Together, they would strike at the Emperor himself. But even as she walked the marbled corridors, stormtroopers saluting at every turn, Ahsoka could feel his gaze. Palpatine was always watching, always probing. "Ah, my apprentice. I did not expect you today. I wish to oversee the Death Star project personally. The galaxy must witness our strength," Ahsoka replies, hoping her voice doesn't falter. Palpatine regards her closely. "Indeed, yet I sense unrest in you. Tell me, do you ever regret leaving the Jedi?" She bowed her head, hiding the storm inside her. "They were weak. You showed me true strength." Palpatine's smile curled thin and sharp. "Good, then prove it." Before she could react, alarm screamed. The intruders were inside. The trap was sprung. The throne room doors burst open. Anakin led the charge, blue blade igniting, Obi-Wan and the others flanking him. Behind the throne, Palpatine rose, his voice dripping venom. "Welcome, Jedi. You've come to meet your end," Palpatine hisses. And at his side, Ahsoka ignited her twin crimson blades. Anakin froze. "Snips! Don't do this!" Her voice was steady, but her eyes betrayed the conflict. "It's too late. I've chosen my path." The Emperor laughed, raising his hands. Lightning tore across the chamber, forcing the Jedi to scatter. At the same moment, Ahsoka lunged. Her blades clashed against Anakin's, red and blue sparking in a storm of fury. Their duel was a dance of memory and pain. Every strike born of years spent fighting side by side, now turned against each other. "Why are you doing this?" Anakin shouts. "To bring peace, to end the chaos the Jedi could never control," Ahsoka replies. Her strikes came faster, heavier rage pouring through her veins. Anakin parried desperately, refusing to fight back with full strength. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan and the others engaged Palpatine. But even 4 Jedi Masters struggled to contain him. His laughter echoed as he hurled them across the room with flicks of his hand. As Ahsoka pressed Anakin to the ground, Palpatine's voice thundered above them. "Finish him, my apprentice. Prove your loyalty," Palpatine's voice thunders. Her sabers hovered over Anakin's chest. His eyes met hers, not with fear, but with trust. "I believe in you," is all he says. The memory of their bond, missions shared, jokes traded, battles survived, flooded her mind. Her hands trembled, tears welled in her golden eyes. "I can't," Ahsoka replies. She dropped her blades. Palpatine's face twisted into rage. Lightning exploded from his hands, slamming into her chest. She screamed, collapsing to the floor as smoke curled from her armor. Anakin surged to his feet, fury blazing. He launched himself at Palpatine, their sabers clashing in a whirlwind of blue and crimson. Obi-Wan and the survivors rallied, striking in unison. For the first time, Palpatine staggered. And then, limping and scorched, Ahsoka rose again. She met Anakin's eyes. Together. Side by side, Master and Apprentice fought as one. Their blades weaved in harmony, driving Palpatine back step by step. His laughter turned to snarls, his arrogance to desperation. "You cannot defeat me. I am the Senate," Palpatine snarls. But in that moment, it didn't matter. Anakin's strike pierced his chest. Ahsoka's blades crossed in a fatal arc. The Emperor of the Galaxy fell, lifeless, his dark aura dissipating like smoke. Silence fell over the throne room. The most powerful Sith in history was gone. But the cost had been enormous. Bodies of fallen Jedi littered the floor. The survivors, battered and broken, could barely stand. Anakin turned to Ahsoka, his chest heaving. "It's over." "No, it's only beginning," she replies. Because the galaxy had been built on Palpatine's foundations. His death left a vacuum that would ignite chaos across every star system. The Death Star plans were erased. Ahsoka herself broadcast the message across the galaxy. The Emperor is dead. The Empire has fallen. The time for freedom has begun. Rebellions erupted overnight. Worlds rose in defiance. But Palpatine's final contingency flickered to life. A recording, his voice cold and eternal. "If you are seeing this, then I am gone. But know this, the dark side is eternal. Others will rise to take my place." The message left the Jedi uneasy. Had they truly ended the Sith, or only bought time? Though she had struck down the Emperor, Ahsoka carried the weight of her crimes. She had marched on the Temple. She had slain Jedi. Entire generations would remember her as the butcher of their order. One night, aboard a stolen cruiser, she stood before Anakin. "After everything I've done, how can you forgive me?" she asks. "Because I know who you really are. You came back. That's all that matters," Anakin replied. But Ahsoka wasn't sure. The dark side still pulsed in her veins. She had tasted its power, and she feared she could never truly let it go. In the years that followed, the galaxy fractured. The Empire's remnants clung to power, warlords rising from the ashes. The Jedi, too few to rebuild, scattered once more. Ahsoka stood at the heart of it all. Some saw her as a savior. Others, as a monster who had only turned on her master at the last moment. She couldn't escape either legacy. And then there were the twins, Luke and Leia, children of Anakin and Padmé. Children born into a galaxy more dangerous than ever. Because this empire, efficient, ruthless, hardened by Ahsoka's campaigns, had been far more stable than Vader's. They would not crumble easily. For Luke and Leia to rise, their path would be harder, their trials greater. So what becomes of Ahsoka in this alternate galaxy? History remembers her by two names. To the Empire, she was Darth Venjari, the Sword of the Sith, the apprentice who burned the Temple and forged the Empire's rule. To the Jedi, she was Ahsoka Tano, the Padawan who fell but found her way back, the apprentice who killed the Emperor and gave the galaxy a second chance. But the truth was both. She was neither Holy Jedi nor Holy Sith. She was something else, a being who lived in the gray, torn between the light and dark, and whose choices shaped the fate of the galaxy. What if Ahsoka had become the Emperor's apprentice instead of Anakin? Maybe the galaxy would have known an empire more efficient, more terrifying, and far more stable. Maybe Anakin would have remained a Jedi, only to fight the person he once trained. And maybe, just maybe, redemption would still find her in the end, but at a far greater cost. Because in this version of the story, the fall of the Jedi wasn't written in the mask of Darth Vader, it was written in the eyes of Ahsoka Tano. If you enjoyed this alternate timeline, make sure to subscribe for more Star Wars What If stories. And as always, may the Force be with you.